What up, world? Welcome to BrandonJaneauShow. As you know, I am BrandonJaneau, like always on all podcast platforms everywhere. BrandonJaneauShow. Social media platforms. Instagram, Threads, BrandonJaneau, Facebook, The BrandonJaneauShow, and of course, TikTok, BrandonJaneauShow. Go follow me on all social media platforms. I would appreciate it if you do. Really where you go? Really where you go? It's the YouTube channel, man. BrandonJaneauShow YouTube channel. Go follow me on all. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the videos, like the shorts. Comment. It helps. All that helps in the algorithm to give me more views, more people to watch everything I'm doing. Yeah. This is Tuesday, so you already know what it is, man. It's I Bleed Sports. Football is back. Excuse me. Football is back. It is a dominating factor. We got college. Got my crazy six for this upcoming week. Week 7 of college football. Got my crazy six. I got my eyes on college football for this upcoming week. Some really good games this upcoming week. I got my 4 games, my skeptical game of the week, my most interesting game of the week, my upset game of the week, and of course the game of the week. Of course, I got my big 4 in the NFL in levels of warning for the NFL. That's yellow, caution, orange, panic time, and red is good old DOA. So those 3 teams, my big 4, eyes on college football, my crazy 6. But let's start it off with this. Um, Kyron Lacy. Kyron Lacy, who was an LSU wide receiver for the last couple of years. Um, this man was about to enter into the NFL draft, and then this tragic thing happens. A car accident happens. A person is killed in this car accident, and this man was charged with that killing. Um, this man's life, pretty much. Um, this man's life, pretty much, was you know taken out of his hands. Control, you know, his freedom, everything was just taken out of his hands in one fatal swoop. He um he decided to take his own life. Um, a promising life, promising career. Could have been one of top receivers taken in his draft, and then just out of nowhere, he's not here anymore with us. This past weekend, this past weekend, um, his lawyer, um, his lawyer, uh, revealed some of the evidence from the case, particularly pretty much his innocence. This man was nowhere even near this crash. The crash happened, and you can visibly see him come into frame after the crash. And you just sitting there watching this shit, and you telling me this man took his own life because he didn't know if he was going to survive this court case, so he just took his own life just for these fucking people to lie on him, bro. To lie on him. He knew he was innocent. And as a person that deals with mental health, that shit weighs on you a lot when your mind is playing tricks on you. I know I'm innocent. I know I didn't do anything wrong. I know it. And then you start hearing people talk, and people just start saying shit, and you just like, damn, did I do something? Did I really do something? Did I cause this shit? My life is pretty much about to be over with. Like, what the fuck? Not only was this man's career taken from him, his life was taken from him. Just to find out that all of these fucking people lied on him. And then you got the police officer talking about some. Can you just say he was in the vicinity of this accident so we can basically just arrest him? We'll worry about that later. Just say he was in the vicinity where he caused this accident. What type of shit is that, bro? Who? This man took his own life. He's no longer here. He's never going to. He's never going to feel vindicated. He's never going to know that they literally just lied on him. You know how fucked up that is, man? To have your life just be gone. You still no end in sight. I know how that feels. I, I I I know how that feels when you feel like you have no end in sight. You feel like there is no light at the end of the tunnel. That this is it. I've been in those situations before. So to feel like he felt, or to be in those shoes, to really feel that way for real, like knowing that I did nothing wrong. I absolutely did nothing fucking wrong. And yet you can do absolutely fucking nothing wrong and still have your freedom taken almost taken away from you. That's fucked up. That's fucked up, bro. Rest in peace to Kyrie Lacey. Rest in peace, Kyrie Lacey. I'm not even gonna talk about all these fucking people that now gotta backpedal and do reaction videos to their past reaction videos to this kid, to this young man that took his life. Like, how about you wait till the fucking information that comes out? That's why I don't talk before. Like, I wait weeks, couple days before I really get on here and start saying shit because nowadays that's all people want is reaction. They don't give a fuck about the truth. They don't have information, all the information. They just want to run out here and just do reactions. It's like no. That's why I don't do reaction videos. I don't do them bitches. I don't like doing them. I hate them sons of bitches because you're living in a moment and you have to react to the moment, not actually contemplating what you're actually trying to say or feel or do. I do this every Tuesday, but I watch everything. Like I write this shit down last night for what I want to go over the show. Like that's why I don't respect people that I don't say I don't respect people, but that's why it's hard for me to do reaction videos or do something in the moment because in the moment you're not thinking. You're just going off of a feeling. You're not thinking. You're not really actually processing it the way you think you are. It's a feeling. It's not an actual realistic thing. So seeing all these people having to backtrack and redo reactions and say, yeah, I was fucked up. I should have never said nothing. How about you think? I get that that's your brand, that you now the reaction guy, but how about you think before you start putting shit on social media? Because that's the one thing I hope people get back to is this shit gonna sound stupid when I put this out? Because I'm going off of what I'm seeing on social media or what I'm reading on other shit. That's why I don't do reactions. That's very fucking stupid. Do a goddamn reaction. Because it's a moment. You're trying to freeze frame a moment and explain it. Anyway, college football. Anyway, college football. Um, what I told you, what I've been telling y'all since I've been doing I Believe Sports. When I talk about college football, what have I said all the time about college football? Wait, if I get into that, hold on. If I get into that, baseball playoffs. If I get into that, baseball playoffs. The Dodgers have took two from the Phillies in Philly. Um, it's gonna be hard for the Phillies to go into LA and take those two games. To take two games from the Dodgers, it's gonna be a little hard. They should have won game one. I don't give a shit. They should have won game one. Um, they let the Dodgers come back at the end and win game one. Uh, and now the pressure's all on Philly. You have to win these two games. You have to win these two games. There is no conversation. There is no talking points. There is no extra. You have to win these two games to get back to Philly. Um, ALDS. Oh, NLDS. My Cubs. Listen, I just think the Brewers got a number this year. I don't know if we can successfully get two games in Wrigley Field. I hope we do. If you don't know, I am a Cubs fan. I watched it was two games against those three games against the Padres. Um, Now, for those that sit out there saying, well, that was a ball. Next year you get a chance to challenge that shit. Until then, shut the fuck up. Like, next year you get a chance to challenge that shit. Till next year, shut the fuck up. It is what it is. But man, my Cubs right now, we just aren't. The Brewers might just have our number, bro. And that's just the fact of this. We had the division locked up for a very long time, and then out of nowhere, we just lost the division to the Brewers, and the Brewers took it and ran with it, and never looked back. Do I think the Brewers are a better team than the Phillies or the Dodgers? Not really. I think when they play those two teams, they're playing something familiar. They're playing a familiar team like the Cubs, who they've pretty much have owned all season. So I really don't put too much stock into that shit. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't put too much stock into the Brewers this season. Yeah, you're winning these games, but again, you're playing against a team that you're familiar with. You've played damn near what 20 times this season. Like you're supposed to be familiar with the goddamn Chicago Cubs. So yeah, ALDS. The Blue Jays are a better team than the Yankees right now. That's just facts. The ALDS is about to kick off. You got the Mariners and the Tigers tonight first, and then you got the Yankees and the Blue Jays. I expect now the Tigers and the Mariners are tied 1-1. We shall see how this game is going to look in Detroit, of all places. I don't know how Seattle is going. Seattle is a better team than Detroit. Seattle's a better team than Detroit. With that being said, Detroit can have home cooked. They can just take it in Detroit, man. So Seattle's got to win tonight. I think Detroit. If Seattle does not win Game 3 tonight, it's. I just don't see them going back to Seattle and winning one. You got to win tonight. In my mind, you have to win tonight. For the Yankees and the Blue Jays, like I said, I think Toronto just same thing. You're just familiar with the Blue Jays. I mean, the Blue Jays are familiar with the Yankees. They're in the same division. They've played against each other for 20 goddamn games. They know each other. And I don't know, man. Being on the road is a completely different animal. Um, but this has been the Yankees postseason for years. Aaron Judge is great in the regular season. He sucks in the postseason. That's just facts. He's not good in the postseason. That's just facts. He's Alex Rodriguez. That's all he is. He's really great in the regular season. Postseason, he sucks. Game 3 tonight, we shall see if the Yankees can get it done. I don't know if they will. But again, like I said, it's the road. You don't know. Toronto might not show up, really. And so we shall see. Now college football. I've said this numerous times about college football, particularly James Franklin. I uh I am not a huge James Franklin guy. I've never been a huge James Franklin guy. I think he was great for Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt needed a coach like him to rebuild the team, to rebuild the structure, rebuild everything about that team. He did exactly what he was supposed to do at Vanderbilt. When he got this job at Penn State, I think y'all gave him too much credit. I never saw him going into Penn State and making him a championship contender. I never thought he was that type of. I never thought he was that type of coach. Even in Vanderbilt, I didn't think he was that type of coach. I thought he was a coach that could surprise some teams here and there, but never win the big one. And that's exactly what the hell is happening right now. We're all realizing like he can't win the big one. Him losing to Oregon is one thing. Him losing to UCLA is a whole nother fucking animal. Him losing to UCLA is a whole nother fucking animal. And I think people don't want to admit that, but and I think I saw right after the game, somebody else, I think it was like NBC was like, oh man, if I was James Franklin, I would start thinking about leaving Penn State. No, if I was Penn State, I'd think about firing James Franklin. I've said this numerous times, every fucking season that we start college football and Penn State gets this unrealistic hype for some fucking reason. I always say, y'all do realize James Franklin is coaching that team, right? Y'all do realize James Franklin is not going to actually put that team into a good situation. James Franklin is not a good head coach like that. Can you win like maybe 8 to 9 games with him? Maybe, yeah. But when it comes to the big games like Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, teams that could actually counteract him, he's not that coach. He's never been that fucking coach. Same thing with Steve Sarkisian. Steve is in the same fucking boat. Lane Kiffin too. Don't get it twisted. Lane Kiffin won, but let's put shit into perspective. Lane Kiffin beat the LSU Tigers because they were at home. Let's see this weekend. And then they play. Who do they play? Oh, they play Washington State. In a couple weeks, they play Georgia. Let's see if they can do that shit in Georgia. Because I promise you, they probably fucking won't. Lane Kiffin could pull one rabbit out his ass. He can't pull two. That's pretty much what it is. A lot of these coaches are showing you they can't win big games, man. And that's just facts. You have to hire them for what they are. Brian Kelly is in the same boat. Oh, you thought I was gonna say I was gonna change something? You think I was gonna lie? Brian Kelly's in the same fucking boat. Brian Kelly can't win big games. He's never been able to win big games. That's not his fucking MO. That's not what he does. He doesn't win big games, man. Anybody that's in there thinking Brian Kelly can win big games, you are delusional. My crazy six. This is my 6 teams of college football going into week 7 of the college football season. Now, kicking out the list, and number 1, it is the U. They've been at number 1 for a good bit. I've not switched them out since I put them at 1 on this list. There's no reason for me to switch them out. Yeah, they got kind of a little bit of a scare. A little bit of a scare. Uh, you know, late in the game against Florida State, but for the most part, they were beating the shit out of Florida State. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even remotely fucking close. Like, yeah, they got a scare at the end, but Florida State, Miami has a fucking defense. I just really truly believe they just took their foot off the gas. I think they just like, oh, we got this game. Who cares? And they let Florida State kind of come back. You don't do no team like that, especially in a rivalry. You don't do no shit like that. You don't take your foot off the gas. You don't just be like, oh, we got this. No, you whoop their ass. You beat them. You make them submit. You beat that ass. You don't stop. They did that. And Florida State almost came back and beat them. It is what it is. But I've been said this. Miami, now that they beat Florida State, I don't really see anybody in the ACC really giving them a fucking challenge. Clemson, you beat North Carolina. Congratulations. I don't know what you want me to do. You want me to give you a cookie because you beat North Carolina? Like you suck. It's just like you're not good, bro. It literally is going to probably be Miami and Florida State for the ACC championship game. Depending on how Miami moves the rest of the year. I mean, they got Louisville coming up soon, which will be in Miami. I think they got still. I think Virginia. I think they got some games. I think that Miami and Louisville game is actually on a Friday night, which is gonna be pretty interesting to see. Um, but yeah, man, I think Miami. Yeah, man, Miami's number one on my list. They're 5-0. They're on a bye this week, and next week they got Louisville on Friday night in Miami. So that's gonna be an interesting fucking game. Let's just put it like that. Number two, Ohio State. They're 5-0. Ohio State's 5-0. This past weekend they beat the hell out of Minnesota. Um, they beat Minnesota uh in the horseshoe. Um, they are officially 5-0. They're going to Illinois this upcoming week. I'll talk about that game in a minute. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see. Number three is the Oregon Ducks. They're also 5-0. This past weekend they were on a bye after beating Penn State in Penn State. Excuse me. They're on a bye, 5-0. This upcoming week they are hosting the Indiana Hoosiers. It's gonna be an interesting fucking game. I'll talk about that in a minute. Number four, the Texas A&M Aggies. They are 5-0. This past weekend they played. Who Texas A&M played this past weekend? I already forgot who Texas A&M. Hold on. I can look it up. Hold on now. God damn it. Hold on. Texas A&M played Mississippi State, and they beat the hell out of Mississippi State. Um, they're 5-0. They are going to play Florida, who's coming off of a massive win against Texas, and I'll talk about that team in a minute as well. Um, they're 5-0. I have said this: Marcellus Reed is the best quarterback in the SEC. He's better than Ty Simpson. He's better than Garrett Nussmeier. He's better than Arch Manning. He's better than DJ Longway. He is the better quarterback. He's the best quarterback. He's a dual threat quarterback. Texas A&M has the team that can actually win the SEC. I think a lot of people aren't really talking about them because you just haven't really wrapped your head around Texas A&M can actually win the SEC. They can win the SEC, bro. That's not even a joke. They can win the SEC. Um, and yeah, they're forward on my list. So yeah, fifth coming in at fifth for my crazy six. It is the Ole Miss Rebels, 5-0. They were on a bye last week. This week they play Washington State. They should easily win that game. They're at home. My one thing about Ole Miss is you beat LSU, congratulations. But let's be real. Once you actually start playing actual real competition, like you're going to fold. Like I've been saying, Lane Kiffin is just not that head coach. He's not that guy. And as much as people want to sit here to act like he isn't. So um, he's just another James Franklin. He's another James Franklin. He's another James Franklin that you know gets a lot of praise for nothing. And then when he plays actually a really good team, he shits the bed. But for right now, you got enough time before you actually have to play against a really good team to get everybody kissing your ass on social and college football media. And number six, it is the Indiana Hoosiers. They are 5-0, and they will be in Oregon this upcoming week. They were also on a bye this past weekend. Um, so yeah, odds on college football. Odds on college football. Week 7. You already know 4 games, just 4. Skeptical game of the week. Most interesting game of the week. My upset game of the week, and of course the game of the week. Let's do this. Skeptical game of the week, kicking off the list. Skeptical game of the week. It is South Carolina versus LSU. LSU coming off of the loss to Miss Ole Miss and Ole Miss. They play against South Carolina, who, for the most part, before less Linares Sales got injured, they were pretty fucking good. They're pretty stacked. They're pretty ready to go. Um, This is a weird game. LSU's defense is not the problem. Their offense is definitely the fucking problem. I don't know what to really rate this team and what this game is going to be. Last year, we literally had to come back because South Carolina literally bull raced us in the beginning, and it literally took a last second missed field goal by South Carolina to win that game. Um, LSU's offense has not gotten better. They've gotten worse, actually. Garrett Nussmeier has regressed. He hasn't actually done anything to make you believe he's actually a good quarterback and he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks getting drafted in his upcoming draft. He kind of has made himself lose a lot of money, actually, if you think about it. Like, it would actually make him a better quarterback if he actually stayed his ass in college another year because this shit is bad, man. You can't even blame the receivers. I know a lot of people probably blame the receivers, but this they can't run the ball. They still can't run the fucking football after 2 years. You still can't run the ball. It's just a lot, man. I don't know, man. South Carolina versus LSU is an interesting game. I don't know who wins, but whoever wins is clearly in control of their destiny for the SEC going forward. And I will be podcasting this game for Bleed Purple and Gold. So right after the game is over, I will be on to do the Bleed Purple and Gold episode. So yeah. So if you like that episode, that podcast that I do for LSU, I'll be right there to do that. Well, this is the game of the week. It is Ohio State versus Illinois. Told you I talked about this game. Told you. I told you I talked about this game. Ohio State feels like they're catching a rhythm. Finally figuring out their offense. They're finally figuring out their team. They're finally figuring out who they are. They're finally figuring it out. Illinois, after pretty much getting drummed by Indiana, I mean, getting their ass destroyed by Indiana a couple weeks ago, they beat USC in Illinois. That's something. But this is one of those games where Penn State's down. Michigan is starting to kind of catch their rhythm with the freshman Bryce Underwood. But for the most part, the Big Ten is Oregon and Ohio State. So teams like Indiana and Illinois that can make a massive, and I mean massive, stands this weekend. These are the two games that you need to win. This is a game you need to win. Has Illinois learned their lesson from the game against Indiana? The USC game is one thing, but that game against Indiana, you just didn't show up. You got destroyed in that game, and like easily destroyed. Like it wasn't even like it was a close fucking game. They beat the hell out you guys. Um, so do you wake up? This is the game, man. I don't think that. I think that this is gonna be an intriguing goddamn game. Intriguing goddamn game, and let's see who wins. Upset game of the week. Oklahoma versus Texas. Red River Robbery. This game would not be an upset game of the week if Oklahoma had their starting quarterback, which they do not. And this is the first game they do not have their starting quarterback. And this is why I feel like this could be an upset. Granted, Arch Manning is just not it. He's not the guy. Um, there has been tons and tons and tons of people just trying to make excuses for why this kid isn't good, why he hasn't shown up, why he hasn't done what they expected him to do. And I have said this numerous times. Don't no fucking quarterback sit on a bench for 2 fucking years in that system. The system hasn't changed. You sat on the bench for 2 years and you never got the job. They knew what you was. And now they are forced to have to play you. And now everybody's now seeing what you are. They knew for 2 years what you were. They knew. They there's no way in hell you saw Quentin Ayers last year struggle like he struggled, and you still did not start Arch Manning. You knew. You knew what he was. And now everybody else is finally seeing, oh shit, he isn't this guy. He isn't Peyton. He's not anticipating throws. He's not that guy. He just looks for his first read, and once the first read is gone, he doesn't know what to do. This is what he is. This is what he is. Anybody that's sitting here trying to act like I can't believe this. This is not what I expected. Because you put too much stock in this kid for no fucking reason. And for people that was like me and any others that was like, pump the brakes. We've never seen this kid play football. Why y'all saying that this kid is going to transform and become this great goddamn quarterback? Who said this? Yes. For people that's also sitting there saying, well, if he didn't have the last name, he would not have had this much press. That is 100% factual. Who the fuck is going to debate that? With that being said, I don't know how Oklahoma is going to look without their starting quarterback. And this is a rivalry. This is a rivalry that has had some weird ass wins in the last couple of years. I mean, Texas was great, and then they lose to Oklahoma. And you just sitting there like, how the fuck you lose to Oklahoma, who's like 4-6? Like you just said that. Like, how you lose to Oklahoma, bro? This is one of those games that is very weird. Anything can happen. It's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. You can't just look at the teams and say, well, because Texas sucks and Oklahoma has been great, obviously that's what's going to happen. I do not know. This is the first game Oklahoma's playing without their starting quarterback. They had a week off to integrate this new quarterback. Texas is coming off of a very, very bad loss. They should have not lost to Florida, but they did. I think Texas can win this game. And it sounds crazy. I'm not, again, it's not because of Arch Manning. Fuck no. I'm not saying because Arch Manning did it. No. I think Texas defense felt embarrassed last week. I think how they got screwed, how they got absolutely outplayed by Florida's offense, who's been damn near the one of the worst SEC offenses in college football. And they got outplayed by them. I think Texas defense shows up finally and wins them this game. It's not because of Arch Manning. Fuck no. I don't think Arch Manning is the reason. I think they caused like at least 4 or 5 turnovers. I think Texas gets at least 2 defensive touchdowns in this game. Yeah. In my game of the week, it is Indiana versus Oregon. Both of these teams are in the top 10. This is an interesting game. I just told you how much Ohio State and Illinois looks crazy on paper. Indiana's a team that literally boat raced Illinois a couple weeks ago. 70 to 10, I think it was. And Oregon's coming off of a big win against Penn State. I would say one of the biggest wins, but their big win so far of the season against Penn State. This is Indiana's Ohio State game of last year, where you need to show everybody that you can win these types of games. I don't care if you could beat Illinois. I don't care if you could beat a USC. I don't care if you could beat a Michigan State. If you want to be the cream of the crop of the Big Ten, you're going to have to beat the Penn States. You're going to have to beat the Oregons. You're going to have to beat the Ohio States. On the road, we shall see how this looks. And to me personally, it's going to be an interesting game. I think Indiana, I say this, I think Indiana offensively this year is better than they were last year. I think Indiana could give Oregon a game. Now, do I think they're going to beat Oregon? No, I think Eugene, Oregon is a completely different world. Only the cream of the crop could go into Eugene, Oregon and actually beat Oregon. But do I think Indiana can make it a game and maybe surprise some people? Yeah, I think they can. I definitely think they can. Can they surprise them to a win? Anything can happen on a Saturday. It is football. Let's get into it, man. NFL, Big Four. My Big Four of the NFL. I don't do 5. I don't do 6. I don't do 10. I do 4. 4 teams. My 4 teams coming into the next week of the NFL season, which is week 6 of the NFL season. So get into it, man. At number 1, it is the Detroit Lions. If you was to tell me that week 1 they would look that bad, and then ever since then they just needed a kick in the ass, and ever since then they will be off to the races, I wouldn't believe you. See, this is a team. See, they lost their coordinators, and they look better. You hear that, Philly? When you lose your coordinators, you're actually supposed to look better because the fucking team knows what to do. Detroit's 4-1. They beat Cincinnati. Now, the Cincinnati game was a little shaky at the end, but it's still Detroit, and they still are one of the best teams. They go on the road to Kansas City. After what they just happened to them last night, this is going to be pretty fucking interesting. Because Kansas City's going to have to figure something out. Do you allow them to run the football, or do you allow them to throw the ball? Because if they going to throw the ball on you, you ain't got the secondary to stop them. And if you let them run the ball on you, you're just setting up play actions. This is not a good matchup for Kansas City. This is not a good matchup for Kansas City. Detroit is not a good matchup for Kansas City because they can run and they can throw, and they know they can run and they know they can throw. This ain't a good matchup for Kansas City. This is not one of those teams that you want to play, especially when you're reeling off of a loss like you just had last night. You don't want these types of games. This is not a good game. Number 2 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are 3-1. They're coming off of a bye. They play the Cleveland Browns. Now, I know people want to jump out the window and say, see, this is why Shador Sanders should be the shut up. Dylan Gabriel's a rookie. He ain't a second-year starter. This ain't a third, fourth, fifth, sixth-year starter. Like a quarterback I'm about to talk about. This is a fucking rookie, too. I don't expect him to go in there and put great games together. Fuck no. He had missed on a lot of throws, which has kind of been his downfall in college. Was he can't hit in certain positions. He can't hit certain throws. Steelers are 3-1. This is the Steelers' perfect time to officially put the AFC North in the rearview mirror. You win this game against the Browns. I don't really. The Baltimore until Lamar comes back, they're screwed. Cincinnati saying with Joe Burrow, and Cleveland has no chance in hell. But if Cleveland wins this game, it'd be the funniest fucking win I think I've ever seen in my life. And I just saw last Sunday. So we shall see. But Steelers at number 2. Number 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're 4-1. I don't know how they won that game against Seattle. I kind of have a feeling Sam Darnold just is Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield should be considered an MVP. I don't know why. This is the problem I got with sports media. You got a quarterback that is 4-1 in the NFL, and yet it having an incredible season, by the way. He has no Mike Evans. Chris Godwin just got back into the starting rotation, starting lineup. Mike Evans is out. You have a rookie receiver, and now his running back is hurt, and yet he's not considered the MVP. But Dak Prescott is? Nigga, what? Are you fucking kidding me? Dak Prescott is considered more of an MVP than Baker Mayfield. Sports media, ladies and gentlemen. Sports fucking media. Tampa Bay's 4-1. They play another 4-1 team this upcoming week in the San Francisco 49ers. That is wild. I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be pretty interesting. I think San Francisco's defense is going to get tested. And I think Mac Jones is going to probably get tested. I don't think Tampa Bay's secondary is good at all. I've been saying this for years. If you can pass that front 7 of Tampa Bay, that secondary is easy money. So we shall see. And number 4, It's the Indianapolis Colts, man. I got the Colts at 4, man. 4-1. They absolutely beat the. Whew, shit, man. They beat the hell out the Raiders. Sorry to my brother Juan. We gotta talk about that tomorrow. But Lord have mercy, they beat the hell out the Raiders. The Colts is 4-1. They beat them 40-6. Now I hear people saying because of Daniel Jones. No, the fuck it is not. That defense is stacked, and Jonathan Taylor is actually fucking healthy. That's the reason. If Jonathan Taylor was not healthy, that fucking offense would look fucking abysmal. Let's be 100, bro. Jonathan Taylor is the reason for why the Colts are even somewhat competitive. Daniel Jones is just doing enough to not fuck up the game. Let's keep this a bit. Same thing with Sam Darnold. When certain quarterbacks have been in the league for that long, you know how to help them. Kenneth Walker, Jonathan Taylor. They are healthy. They are running. They are healthy and they're running and they're good. We can stop with this bullshit about Daniel Jones and Sam. Fuck out of here, bro. No. The Colts are 4-1. They got the Cardinals this upcoming week, and I'll talk about that team in a minute. I'll talk about that team in a goddamn minute. Loves a warning for the NFL. Yellow, caution. Orange, panic time. Red is just good old DOA. Yellow, caution. That is the Philadelphia Eagles at 4-1. Now this whole week, I've had to hear, is the Eagles done for? Is the Eagles dead? Is the Eagles finished? And I'm like, bitch, 4-1. Like y'all talking about these niggas like they the Ravens. Like what the fuck? Like they're 4-1, bro. Like they lost the game, my nigga. It happens. Like what do you want these niggas to? You want them to go undefeated? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, bro, like no, bro, like chill. I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like the Eagles' offense is good. That offense is fucking boring as shit. When Drew Brees said it, he said the quiet part out loud. That's all it was. He said the quiet part out loud. That's all it was. Nothing more, nothing less. This offense just isn't it, bro. I don't know what it is. I think because last year so many teams had to worry about so many other valuables, there's so many other things going on with the Eagles. Saquon Barkley winning for 2,000 yards was kind of just a given. But now this season happens. I mean, Landon Johnson not being there is one thing, but then this season happens. The offense isn't doing a damn thing. The offensive passing game still looks bad. They haven't fixed anything. And now Saquon Barkley is not getting the open holes like he was getting last year because nobody is afraid of them throwing the ball. So when you're not afraid of them throwing the football, you can stop Saquon Barkley. The Eagles' offense just isn't. I don't know what the hell they need to do, but they need to do something. Every year it feels like when they lose offensive coordinator that clicks with Jalen Hurts, they immediately just go back to the status fucking quo. I don't know what it is. And on top of that, that defense, particularly that secondary, is very goddamn questionable. I have said this numerous times. Adoree Jackson is just Eli Apple. That's all he is. He's Eli fucking Apple. They paid this man all his money, and he still sucks. He's not good. He's not a good secondary player. If I was the Eagles, I would start looking into maybe going get a cornerback. Looking at some of these teams, maybe the Jets or Sauce Gardner. The Ravens right now are struggling. The Browns are struggling. Call up the Browns, see if you get Denzel Ward. See what it takes to give Denzel Ward. Gary Newsom. Why not? I mean, you might as well. Fuck, you might as well try. Yeah. The problem with the Eagles is the secondary. Defensively, is the secondary. Offensively, you got the weapons. You got everything you need. It's just you got to expand that goddamn playbook. You can't keep doing the same shit and think you're gonna get the same results. You got to and I said this last week about the Eagles. Because they have to do just the bare minimum to beat teams, they're used to it. But now that you lost, you can't now do the bare minimum. You now actually have to actually expand the offense. That Rams game y'all had is probably the best game you've ever had because you were already down. So you had to throw the ball. You had to do something. But that's about it, man. I don't know what to say about the Eagles outside of this game against the Giants this upcoming weekend. It'll be pretty goddamn interesting. Orange, panic time, and it's the Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers. Listen, I get you have no justice. I get that you came into the season basically with one of the best offensive lines, and then you lose Rashad Slater, one of your best offensive linemen, before the season. He's out for the year, and now you lost Joe Alt, who's another really great offensive lineman for you. You have now lost Najee Harris, who you signed this past offseason, and now he's out for the rest of the year with torn ACL. And now Mario Hampton, who is uh, the rookie running back from North Carolina, and now he's hurt. And now you're doing something that you probably didn't want to do, especially Jim Harbaugh. He did not want to do this, which is put the ball in Justin Herbert's hands and actually have him throw the football. Because we saw how that looked last year in the postseason when he had to throw the football the whole game. He throws picks. He's not that guy. I've been saying this shit for years. He's not that fucking guy. He needs a lot of things to go right. He needs a running game. He needs an offensive line. You're just about to put this kid into a worse situation. And then defensively, you let Joey Bosa walk, which was totally understandable for you to let Joey Bosa walk. But Khalil Mack has been hurt. Your secondary has never been really that great. But now this team is just you won 3 consecutive games against divisional teams, which was great for you. You've lost the last 2 games to the Giants, who lost Malik Neighbors midway through that game, by the way, and the Commanders, who up until Friday didn't even know Jane Daniels was playing, and you lost that game. And it wasn't even close. It wasn't like it was even severely close. This is why I don't put too much stock in the Chargers, bro. I don't do this shit at all. I don't put stock in the Chargers at all. I don't even try. Like every year, I don't get excited about the Chargers at all. You lost 2 games, and now this upcoming weekend, I don't even know if you can even win that. Like it's getting to the point, man. Where I don't know what the hell you are. The best thing you could have done was win the first 3 games. The worst thing that you have done is actually won the first 3 games because now, even though you got a 3-0, lead in the division, the Broncos and the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs lost last night, the Broncos beating the Eagles, and the Raiders are just on a whole nother time period. I don't know what the fuck they doing. But you can go from winning 3 games to start the season against 3 divisional teams to literally losing the next 3 games. And that's the Chargers. That's been the Chargers my whole life. That's been the Chargers my whole life, man. I don't know what you want me to tell you. That's been the Chargers my whole life. Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, and now Justin Herbert. It's the fucking Chargers, bro. I don't know what it is, bro. That's just the Chargers, bro. I don't know what you want me to tell you. And red is DOA. And that is the Cardinals. 2-3. The Cardinals have lost in an average of their last 3 losses. This is the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals, 3 losses. Combined scores. 5. That's it. You lost 3 games by 5 points. San Francisco, you lost by 1. You lost by 3 to Seattle. And you just lost this past Sunday to the Tennessee Titans by a point. 5 points. You should be undefeated. You should be undefeated. This is ridiculous. You lost 3 games by 5 points. 2 of them at home. 2 of them at home. The NFC West, I knew coming in would be a little hard because I didn't think San Francisco was going to be that great. The Rams are going to struggle with Matthew Stafford at some point because he's getting up there in the age department. He had a back injury. And we did not know what Seattle was. The Sam Darnold. I thought the Arizona Cardinals could at least take advantage of that. I've been on the Arizona Cardinals bandwagon for like at least a good 2 years. They have drafted really well. They have fixed the defense. I don't think John Gannon is a bad head coach. I don't at all. What is officially point blank obvious about the Arizona Cardinals is that Kyler Murray is the fucking problem. Kyler Murray is the problem. He can't be the quarterback, bro. I thought this past year they would have maybe thought about going and get a quarterback in the draft. The Cardinals are one of those teams that is definitely now maybe not this draft because this draft is a little I don't know about quarterbacks, but this offseason is gonna be pretty interesting. This offseason is gonna be pretty goddamn interesting to see who gets moved where. You got some situations going on. Of course, you got the Cleveland situation with Shador. They can move him at any time. They got, of course, you got the Cincinnati situation with Joe Burrow. You got the coach situation with Anthony Richardson. You got a lot of things going on. Pittsburgh with the, Aaron Rodgers officially said, this is my last year. So technically he's done after the end of this year. There's a lot of teams that you got the Saints with Spencer Rattler, who's continuously improving every game. So Tyler Shuck could be on the trading block next year. You got Justin Fields with his situation. You got Geno Smith with the Raiders. There's a lot. There's a lot could be moved around. The Cardinals need a new quarterback, bro. This is ridiculous. Kyler Murray has shown you enough to know he's not the guy. It's over. Let's put it to bed. He is not the guy. You gave him everything he needed. You gave him an offensive line. You gave him receivers. You gave him a defense. You gave him a head coach that knew defense and can help us. You gave him everything he fucking needed, and he still can't win games for you. What more do you need to see? That is it. That is it. Next week will be closing in on the end the championship series for baseball. Got the WNBA finals going on. The way it looks, it might be the Aces again. NBA is around the corner, which just not this weekend. Next weekend, I'll be doing my NBA preview show, which I'll be doing that next weekend for the season starts for them, which starts October 21st. So next weekend will be my NBA preview show for I Believe Sports. So that's just strictly to the NBA. I'll be talking about that next weekend. Because I got a lot going on this upcoming weekend. So I talk about that next weekend. Of course, football is going on. So yeah, man. But yeah, that is it. That is I Believe Sports. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.